And now, unbiased and independent, here is your Manhattan Weekly Market Report with Noah and John from UrbanDigs. Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are from UrbanDigs, and it is Friday. So you're going to get your weekly Manhattan market update. John, let's go right to supply. 6,071. Looks like it's lingering right around that 6K handle. Johnny, show me that chart.
Yeah, it is a lingering conversation on the lingering supply. I feel like we talk about this every week. Supply is essentially going sideways. And if you've tuned in before, that is nothing new to you.
Yeah, it's going sideways after it came down, and you would have expected it to come back up a little more. And we'll talk about that at the end of this broadcast. But let's move on to pending sales, Johnny, the measure of demand, 2,198. Don't look now. Did that just tick higher again? Johnny, show me that chart.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back to May of last year to sort of, refresh my memory what an uptick in pending sales looks like. And that's kind of what it looks like. It's a little uptick there. We're up 3.5% on the week. It's really, really too early to call any kind of bottom or uptrend now in pending sales. But we are heading into sort of the busy season. But, it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, considering that this is like a tanker and this takes a lot to turn it around, and we know which way we would be going for a long, long time now. It's been 7 months on end. And you take a look at this market pulse. We keep saying we're in the buy zone. We are in the buy zone. That means we expect this number to go higher. And if it does, buyers are going to see leverage slowly go away from them. That's the whole point of saying we're in the buy zone, is that your peak leverage may be behind you. Keep an eye on that, because when I look at the monthlies, we'll get to that in a second, you're going to see something interesting. Let's start with supply, Johnny. 319 things came on in the last 7 days. That's only up 2 ticks. Johnny, show me that chart.
Yeah, and that's it's interesting to see, because we just talked about supply lingering, but when you look at the weekly new listings, right, they're actually sort of keeping a pace with prior trends. Now, they're certainly not as high as they were, but that sort of speaks to, well, what's happening on the broader supply side. We've talked about this a number of times. You add up what's going into contract, as we're going to see in a second, and you add up what's going off market, and that supply number remains flat. But on the weekly side, stuff is still coming in, just at a slightly lower level.
Yeah, exactly. We had a lot of stuff come on in the last year and a half or so. So that was well above trend, and we're just kind of at trend, right? We're not seeing a lack of stuff coming on. It's just like you said, it's just being muted by all the stuff going off, and there's no net gain in inventory. Let's move on to demand, Johnny. Contract signed. Look at this. All of those anecdotal reports, all of these things we've been talking about the last few weeks since late January, it's starting to come into the data pipeline. 238 things. That's up about 26%. I love it. Johnny, show me that chart.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've crossed the 200 mark since October or so. It's been quite a while, and you're right. We're up. That's a big jump in terms of the number of contract signs. It's still below, obviously, the peak years 2021, 2022, but we finally surpassed the 2019 barrier, which had been sort of the glass ceiling that this market had been bumping up against, and it's certainly another step in the right direction. So that trend in contract signs is moving up as we get deeper into the busy season here, and that is it's sort of a welcome sign in terms of the health of the market. So again, we talked. I'm going back to supply now, right? You see this spike, and not really a spike, but you see this increase in contract signs. Remember, all of those are leaving that supply number. So we've seen supply coming in at sort of a fairly constant pace, but now we're starting to see an acceleration in the number of contract signs. And what's that going to do? No, that's going to sort of remove or kind of keep steady that level of supply.
Yeah, all these dynamics are probably adding to muting the whole depth of the downturn as well. You put all these pieces of the puzzle together, it probably explains why we're not in aggressive decline on the price action side. And, Phil Horrigan runs his clubhouse, and we had a whole host of wonderful producers on there. And I'm going to try to put that whole session on UrbanDigs for everyone to listen to. And there was consistency amongst the brokers, these producing brokers, boots on the ground, basically breaking down inventory. And they're describing this. There's just no stuff. There's no inventory, John, and all the stuff is stale. It's like, I've seen this stuff already. There's not a lot of new stuff. So we did this chart, and it's a lot of colors. So let's try to explain this. All right, let's go one by one. These orange, that is inventory that is over 120 days old. Okay.
Right.
The green is between 90 and 120 days. The yellow is between 60 and 90 days. The red is 30 to 60 days. And that blue is going to be the fresh stuff. right? The blue is what you really want to look at in this chart. And I think, we had a tick up. Let me just point out right here. You can see right here. I think I have to change my color so it doesn't conflict here. Right here, you can see we're ticking up on that blue. But 1 month of ticking up, that is not a lot. All right. And you may say, oh, the trend is showing that it's coming up. What are these brokers talking about? I'll tell you what these brokers are talking about, Johnny. These brokers are talking about the last 4, 5, 6 months and how it's been. They're talking about the relative experience, and that blue has been going down, 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 down. That's what they're referring to. This is the first tick up, and we'll see if it sustains itself. But you need to see this blue go up, 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 up to change that whole feeling that the producers are feeling with boots on the ground.
Well, not only that, so the axis, the y-axis is on the left there. So if you draw a line over the far left, you'll see that blue line is around 13%. So the current value of under 30 days of the fresh stuff, it's about 13% of the market, right? And previous it was like 6-7%. So yeah, that's certainly grown, but we're looking at 100% of the listings here. So that's why all the bars are the same length. But if you actually show the actual number of listings, you'll see that supply has shrunk from where it was, previously. And we just showed that in the supply graph. So even though, yes, certainly the inventory is freshening up as this chart is titled. However, it's a smaller piece of the pie itself has shrunk. So even though the percentage has increased, our pie has shrunk. And I mean, what you can't blame people for not listing. I mean, I guarantee I'll wager that
very good point.
Three-quarters of our homeowners probably have a sub 3% mortgage. I mean, there's not a lot of reasons to sell right now. So unless you need extra space, unless you need something that your current home doesn't have, that rate that you were in from a few years ago is looking pretty good right now. So you don't have a lot of impetus to sell, even though the buyers are starting to come back.
It's such an important point. I mean, are sellers frozen? Are they frozen? Do they look at the market? They're like, I'm not going to get the bid. Is that a situation going on? And you made an excellent point going back. I mean, look, this is January 21. I don't know what supply was then, but let's say 8,000, 8,000 or something like that. Now it's 6,000, right? So you got to think about that relative change in inventory. It's been going down for this whole time pretty much. And here we are. So this is really interesting stuff. It's an excellent take. We don't usually look at the market this way, but it helps to take the change of pace and look at it, especially after that clubhouse with Phil Horrigan. And again, I'm going to put it on UrbanDigs. I hope everyone will listen to it. Check back later today. That is John Walkup. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We're both from UrbanDigs. Don't forget, you guys got questions. We got answers. Please visit our forum right down here. Other than that, you can find these reports right over here in just a few moments. And this has been your Manhattan Weekly Market Update, and we'll catch you next time.